Who was God before creation? The ego's favorite delay tactic. The question, who was God before creation, sounds profound, but it's the ego's masterpiece of distraction. It's like the pecan asking the pecan tree, "What were you before you became me?" The very act of asking assumes time, and time is the ego's invention. When we try to put God in sequence, we shrink the eternal into a timeline and call it mystery. That's not inquiry. That's delay disguised as depth. The entire premise rests on a false foundation. If God was anything before creation, then God changed. And if God changed, He's not eternal. So the question collapses on its own logic. The Course in Miracles reminds us that what is timeless cannot begin or end. Creation isn't something that happened. It's something that is. God didn't decide to create, any more than light decides to shine. Being is the radiance of itself. The video's narration. God existed in perfect stillness before He created, tries to honor eternity, but slips into sequence. Before implies a clock. Created implies a change. The ego loves this. It wants a God it can observe, explain, define, and therefore domesticate. It replaces direct knowing with concept and then worships the concept. Even the poetic line, "He created not out of lack but out of fullness," hides a trap. Fullness doesn't need to overflow. There's nowhere for fullness to go. Love doesn't spread into space. It is space. It doesn't move outward, it simply is. The Ethiopian imagery of light before the sun and silence before the song is beautiful when used symbolically. But taken literally, it reintroduces duality, a God who waits, then acts. In truth, there was no waiting. There was no start. The moment you add motion to God, you've already made an idol. What's really happening in these questions is that the ego is trying to understand God instead of remember God. It wants to grasp infinity with intellect. It wants to make knowing into a riddle that can be solved. And the more it talks, the further it drifts. The mind that asks, "Who was God before creation?" is already in exile. The correction is simple. Don't ask what God was. Ask who is asking. Only the dreaming mind can imagine before. The question reveals its own unreality. When the mind stops asking, the answer is no longer heard, it's felt. And that feeling is peace. God is not the silence before the song. He is the silence and the song simultaneously. He is not the stillness before the movement. He is the stillness within all movement. There is nothing for Him to become because nothing exists outside what He is. The beauty of these ancient words lies not in their cosmology, but in their pointer. They remind the sleeping mind of the stillness that never left. The Holy Spirit can use any story, Ethiopian, Greek, or modern, to lead the mind inward to what cannot be told. But the moment it tries to answer the question of before, the dream continues. Rod Serling would step out from the mist and say, "Submitted for your reconsideration, a question time invented about what was before time. The asker sits in a circle, chasing his own shadow, mistaking curiosity for wisdom. But when the mind stops reaching backward for a God it believes it lost, it discovers He never moved. The silence it feared was not absence, it was home. Welcome back to eternity."